SHRA administers the State of California Permanent Local Housing Allocation Program, or PLHA, entitlement grant program on behalf of the city and the county. The PLHA funds are generated through recording fees on real estate transactions. 20% of those funds must be reserved for single-family down payment assistance, and the remaining 80% is used for multifamily affordable housing projects. In 2022, the beginning balance for the city was $2.3 million that was available for funding in single-family and multifamily. There wasn't any expenditures in 2022. However, Central Stack Studios and On-Broadway apartments are under construction. We have recently received funds for the county, and we will be able to report on those funds next year. SHRA administers federal entitlement grants from HUD on behalf of the county and the city. Home funds are used for multifamily housing production or preservation. These funds have hard deadlines for expenditure, and it is critical that we identify eligible projects so that we are never in a position to return funds to the federal government. Ford County Home generated $3.7 million in entitlements with $685,000 in loan repayments for 2022, and there are now 5 projects under construction utilizing home funds. And for the city, it's generated $2.5 million in entitlements with $3.9 million in loan repayments in 2022, and there are now 6 projects under construction utilizing home funds. In 2022, a total of $24 million were received in fees, with an additional $17.2 million generated in loans previously made with SHRA. Loan repayments allow SHRA to reinvest in needed affordable housing. The single-room occupancy ordinance is also reported on in the staff report. SHRA is required to provide an annual update on the number of residential hotel units downtown, withdraw, and the number of units constructed annually. In 2022, there were no changes to the units withdrawn or added. This concludes my presentation, and staff is available to answer any questions you may have.
Questions from Commissioner? Thank you. Questions from Commissioner? Ross, Commissioner Ross, you have your...
Oh, sorry. But I think it's a great thing that folks for capital non-residential projects are being assessed a fee. I looked at it, and I'm glad it affords us the ability to build housing that's needed, because how else will it be done? So you got to come up with the money somewhere. So anyway, I think it's a good thing. Not that it's being asked whether it's good or not, but I'm just excited that there is the ability to build new housing and remodel and those types of things. It's a good thing.
Thank you. Any additional questions from commissioners? Commissioner Duncan?
Do we have timelines on when these housing under construction are taking place? I know I live by one, the on Broadway, and I'm waiting for that building to be torn down so that the new building can be built. So do we have any timelines on this?
So for On Broadway, we just had our pre-construction meeting, and they're expected to start construction within the next couple of weeks on that project. For all the other ones, I can get you specifics, but let me see. If you want, I can go down the list.
This is a roundabout timeline. Should we see a lot of these projects begin this year?
Yes, a lot of the projects they're already under construction, many near the finish line. So once construction starts, it typically takes about 18 months to 2 years to see. So projects should be coming online within that time frame.
Okay, thank you.
And just to follow up, I believe the on Broadway, we will be having a groundbreaking at the end of July. Yeah, I think that's what I saw coming up on the calendar. So invite you all to come out and participate. And then after that, we'll have an opportunity to really get going on the construction.
All right. Thank you. Madam Clerk, are there any public comments?
Yes, we have 2 call-ins. First, we have Farzan. Go ahead, Farzan.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to make some general comments. I have some property in San Jose area.
I'm sorry, Madam Clerk. Is
Hear
there
an
a way we
echo?
can volume?
I'm sorry. Can you guys hear an echo too? I can hear an echo.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't know how to get rid of that.
No, we can hear you now.
Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah, use the property.
There's a recommendation if you can mute your volume on your computer or your device.
It is muted on my computer. Anyway, when I came here, I also decided to join the project.
Okay, is there a way we can follow up with him?
If he comes back on.
Okay.
It's just gone.
All right. Can we move on to the next public comment?
Okay, next we have a call-in. Last four digits of the phone number are 2351. And go ahead, call-in.
Yes, hello. I'm sorry, the problem was I guess I was on the computer and on the phone as well, so I'm sorry, that was probably the reason. It's the same person. Anyway, like I said, I had some property in San Jose for many years that I was using the housing authority and had a pretty good experience. And I came here and I also signed up. And, for one thing, just like most of you there or most people, when you see all the, homeless people and people in situations looking for housing, as a human being, besides, wanting to, have a, you kind of want a win-win situation, but you also, breaks your heart to see all these people, looking for housing and stuff. So I'm very interested in doing that. So I have two properties now with you. I just wanted to say that, however, just for information, the experience was very different here. And unfortunately, the biggest issue was not being able to contact anybody to talk to. And, it's very, very difficult. Sometimes I leave messages and emails and it takes maybe a couple months later, I got a call and I was surprised and say, oh, you're calling that back from, my messages. But regardless, wanted to say, some other people have asked me, how's your experience? Do you think it's a good idea for us to join? And I wanted to tell them, yes, my friends. But unfortunately, I couldn't because, my experience was very different this time. And I know it's not easy because, most staff probably are, there's not enough budget. You don't have enough people probably to answer phones and all that. And I can see that, that problem is outside of the scope of most, people here, and especially the people who answer the phones. However, I just wanted to say that really creates a negative loop, so to speak. So the less people that are going to be interested or willing to put their properties up, then it would just reduce the pool and it would make it more difficult for the people who are seeking. So like I said, I don't really have an answer to it, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. Just to give you an example, I basically in the last few months spent about over $60,000 fixing up, some of the issues, based on some inspection reports, and I haven't been, getting paid for that property for about 6 months. But that's not even my biggest issue because, I know, sometimes things have to be done. But the biggest issue I have is with the inability to communicate with the agency or get some help with this process. And unfortunately, like I said, just like everybody else, I care about the people who are in desperate situation. I'm not too worried about myself. I can, handle the financial burden perhaps, but that's going to keep a lot of people from potentially joining and helping out.
You can please conclude your comment.
Yes, I'm sorry. That's it. That's my comment. I just wanted to share that, there is a lot of issues, frustration. I hope there is some way that you can find a way to increase staff that can, accommodate the people that, wanting to contact you.
Okay, thank you for your comment.
Just as a follow-up to that, we have implemented some different procedures to do outreach and to work with our landlords. We have someone whose responsibility is to deal with landlord kind of engagement. So we'll take the caller, at least we have his number, and we'll get back to him and see what we can do to try and assist him and get his units onto the program. But we do recognize that that has been an issue. We have experienced a huge amount of staff turnover throughout the entire agency, but especially most in our HCD department. But we're working very hard to correct that and start to really do more outreach. So we will reach out to this individual.
Thank you. All right, Madam Clerk, are there any additional public comments?
There are not.
Thank you. Now, is there a motion to approve submission of the reports to the City and County of Sacramento? All right, moved by Commissioner Nunley, second by Commissioner Morgan. If there is no objection, we move to pass the motion to submit the reports. And hearing that there are no objections, the motion passes unanimously. Madam Clerk, please read the title of the item, agenda item number 4.
Authority to execute a capitalized operating reserve commitment with the John Stewart Company in the amount of $3,400,000 in mixed income housing funds for the rehabilitation of the Sequoia Hotel.
And there's a presentation from staff. Staff, please begin.
Good evening, Whitney Bonner again, Program Manager, Development, Finance, and Portfolio Management. Staff is requesting approval of funding commitment in the amount of $3.4 billion in mixed income housing funds for the Sequoia project. The Sequoia Hotel originally opened in 1910 and is located on 911 K Street in downtown Sacramento. The Sequoia Hotel is subject to the Sacramento's SRO, or single room occupancy residential hotel ordinance that requires the city to maintain an inventory of SRO units in the downtown area. The property has fallen into serious disrepair and is critically in need of extensive rehabilitation. California Department of Housing and Community Development, or HCD, foreclosed on the property last year and are now the new owners. HCD approached John Stewart Company and requested that they acquire the property and renovate it with funding from their portfolio reinvestment program. John Stewart Company applied for and was awarded on May 31st of this year $44.6 million in the PRP funds to rehabilitate 88 permanent supportive housing units and 1 manager's unit. JSO applied to Sacramento Housing and Redevelopment Agency for an additional $3.4 million in capitalized operating reserves to ensure required property management and case management for the residents. 73 units are single-room occupancy where residents will have access to community bathroom and kitchens. 15 units are studios with its own bathroom and kitchenettes equipped. All the units will have microwaves for residents. The project was awarded project-based vouchers for all units on the The project was awarded project-based vouchers for all units. Units will be restricted to homeless individuals whose incomes are 50% of area median income or less. Substantial interior improvements will be made, including kitchenettes, bathrooms, elevators, and stairways. The building will have new heating and cooling system, new flooring, plumbing, mechanical systems, exterior envelope, and light fixtures. The commercial space on the first floor will be converted to a manager's office, service areas, community room, and computer rooms. Also will include a laundry room, nail room, and bike room for residents, and there will be 24-hour desk coverage. For resident services, it will be offered by Lutheran Social Services, who will provide a minimum of 20 hours per week for on-site resident services. Case management will also be provided by Lutheran Social Services, who will be offering 4 full-time case managers. Property management will be managed by John Stewart Company, who has directly managed over 3,595 market-rate affordable housing units in the Sacramento region. In closing, staff is requesting approval of $3.4 million in funding commitment for the capitalized operating reserve for the Sequoia project, and staff is available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Questions from commissioners? Commissioner Duncan?
Do we have any individuals who are currently living at the Sequoia Hotel Or is it fully, are all the units being utilized or?
No, there's about 36 residents that were still living at the site,
Okay.
but they will be relocated prior to construction starting.
Right, they'll either be temporarily relocated during rehab, and then be able to move back if they're income qualified and everything. If not, they'll be permanently relocated, but they will be housed.
Okay. When these relocations take place, is it usually possible to move them to somewhere that's nearby, or is it usually
It's a goal. The developer must hire a relocation specialist, so a third party who specializes in that, and they help them find a place to live. Usually they want to live back in the same area. Occasionally not. Maybe they have family in some other part of the city that they'd like to go live near, but often they want to be back in the same area, and that's what they'll help them do, move back to the same area.
Okay, thank you.
Additional questions from commissioners? All right, great. Madam Clerk, are there any public comments?
There are none.
Okay, Commissioners, do we have a motion to adopt the resolution SHRC 2023-12?
Move staff recommendation.
Never happened. They're very fast. That's okay.
Okay, recognizing, motion moved by Commissioner Morgan and seconded by Commissioner Nunley. Apologies, Commissioner Wu. If there is no objection, we will adopt the motion to adopt the resolution. And hearing no objection, the motion passes unanimously. We will now move to the next item. Thank you, staff, for the presentation. We will now move to the next item on our agenda, the director's report.
Just a couple of things. Number one, just really want to thank the commissioners, chair, and several other commissioners. I know that Gail had an opportunity, and I think might have been some other, and Daryl was there as well, for our Marisol grand opening that we had last week, which was very, very exciting. An opportunity to usher the tour and see a lot of the great work. Still more work to go, but it was truly just amazing to see a lot of hard work finally coming to fruition. So appreciate you guys coming out for that celebration. And then the next one is a groundbreaking. So I did have the date right, maybe it was a different development. It's 39th and Broadway. It's going to be on July 28th at 10 a.m. We'll have a groundbreaking celebration there. It's new construction of 43 units, a mix of studios and one-bedroom apartments for seniors, with amenities such as a management room, laundry facilities, community garden, patio, shade structure. And, you know, this is immediately adjacent to the arbors that we funded several years ago. It's been several years. And it will be the same company, related company, who will be doing kind of part two that we always envisioned. So we're glad that we're finally able to get around to that. And then we'll be also working, like I said, on the groundbreaking for On Broadway. But we do have others that are coming online. We were just going through them just the other day. We had Marisol, we have Capitol Park, which will be coming online within the next few months. We have Central Sacramento Studios across the street. So we are really excited about delivering so many units, much needed units, for permanent supportive housing and some just regular affordable housing as well for people who are in desperate need of that. So that, and our next announcement is that our next meeting is scheduled for June 21st. So I want to make sure you include that on your calendars. Then I think we'll have a break for a little while after that. And then we'll kick back into high gear, and probably you'll start to see 2 meetings a month during our budget times, because we'll be coming forward and doing individual budget presentations for all of the departments. So just want to make sure that you guys keep those dates open on your calendars. And those are all the announcements that I have.
Great, thank you. As far as the Commissioner Chair's report, all I have to say is I had the rare opportunity, you said, of attending 2 events in the past 2 weeks. The Marisol Village celebration, which was really a wonderful experience to really witness. And also the Sacramento Manor ribbon cutting. had an opportunity to see all the new technological advancements that they've done specifically in that apartment setting. So it's really good, and as always, it's a delight to see the impact of what SHRA does for the community, and definitely like to continuously thank SHRA leadership and the staff for all the hard work that you guys do to really make the necessary differences in our community. So thank you. All right, Commission members' reports. Recognizing Commissioner Ross.
Yeah, I want to just say congrats again to Executive Director Dozier. You're all over LinkedIn. Every week there's an award that I see. So congratulations to you and SHRA for the good work and the recognition around perhaps the globe in the future, but anyway, at least around the region. So I wanted to just mention that. And again, I won't be able to make, just because of some other work commitments, I won't be able to make the July 28th event. But again, on LinkedIn, it was all over, both of the Marisol Village and also, what I'm trying to think of the other one, Sacramento Manor. Yeah, so very well highlighted there. Looks good, and so very excited about that. I did have a comment. I know just a comment. Looking at the newspaper, there were a couple of mentionings. There was one article and two individuals for mutual housing, and they seem like they're going to be evicted at some point. So, just curious to see. Just encourage SHRA to look into that. I know you are, but I know they come up quite a bit as far as one of the agencies that we work with. And one person seemed, I don't know what the B's perspective on it, seemed like they were being evicted because they had religious statutes on. And then the other person had multiple children, and she said she had proof that she had paid her rent, but they were saying not. So I hope mutual housing is doing a solid job in retaining residents and not moving them out, because to put folks in a homeless situation during this time, and I would imagine to be doing articles and investigating such a thing, it would have some peculiarities about it, and that's probably why they are doing it. I think that would just be a shame for them to do something like that. It's very difficult these days. Especially for someone who's a senior, that one gentleman, and the woman who had several young children, to have that stress of being evicted. I just wanted to make a comment. I don't know if anyone can say anything about it, but I hope folks will be looking into that.
Yes, I think the one thing is that we do take a look at those things. However, once things actually go into eviction, then they run their particular course, and that they do have an opportunity to present their side of it to a judge who is impartial, and have an opportunity to review the facts that are presented by mutual housing as well as the individuals. And I know for a fact that they don't always prevail. The judge may look at it and say, no, this is not valid. I will not uphold that. We also encourage people to seek out legal resources through Legal Services of Northern California. Their services, they don't charge anything for those. So that is another avenue that is available to individuals.
Is in general, is mutual housing a good performer, partner?
We've worked with them on numerous projects.
Yes,
they are an affordable housing developer who do really excellent work. We have a long history of working with them. Yes, they do great work. But it remains to be seen in terms of once you get there, what the judge, who's impartial and has a chance to really review everything that you may or may not see in a newspaper article.
Okay. Well, thank you. I just wanted to bring that up. Thank you so much.
All right. Since there are no additional business to discuss, our meeting will now be adjourned.